Hello and welcome everybody. So in the last two videos I showed you how an aimbot and a triggerbot works, and in this one we're gonna combine both of them into a single AI. So what you can see right now is not actually me playing with an aimbot, instead it's an almost fully automated AI playing right now. So let's have a look how this AI actually works. This AI consists of three components, the first one being the aimbot, the second one the triggerbot, and the third one being the character movement. If you want to know more about the triggerbot or the aimbot, I'm gonna link the videos I've done previously, but we won't go in details in this video about them. Instead we're gonna focus more on the character movement side of things. So let's jump right into it. So what this AI does for the movement is basically it walks towards the enemy player or the closest enemy player on a pre-calculated path. The path it takes to walk towards the enemy gets calculated by using a so-called navigation mesh, or short nav mesh. So here you can see the nav mesh of Dust 2, and it was created with an application that I wrote for this video. Actually I wrote two applications to create those nav meshes, but the first one was written in JavaScript and I scrapped that one because I wasn't quite happy with it. So I rewrote it in C++ and now I have a single application to control the AI and also create the nav mesh. For the nav mesh we need to create the nodes and the edges. The nodes are created by simply walking through the map and repeatedly hitting a key. When we have created all the nodes that we need, we can save the JSON file, which we later need to create the nav mesh. Now that we have the nodes, we can create the nav mesh simply by clicking on the nodes and creating the edges that we need. With the nav mesh in place, we can now calculate how we must move to get towards the enemy. We first calculate what is the nearest enemy player and what is his node, and then we calculate our node, and with those informations about the both nodes we can then calculate a route between the nodes. So the last piece missing is to calculate the actual route to take to the other player. For this I implemented just a basic Dijkstra algorithm, and in this case a Dijkstra is fine because we don't actually need the performance we would get with, for example, an A-star. One thing to note about the movement module is that it depends on the other modules. So if we have an enemy in our side, we must perform a full stop because else our shots would miss. And that is basically all there is to the movement module. For the aimbot I basically reused the aimbot from the other video. The same goes for the triggerbot, however the triggerbot needed some minor adjustments so that it can perform a proper tap fire. So now that we know how that AI works, we can now put it to the test. The first test was to let it play against regular bots in deathmatch, and it went pretty well for the AI. The second test, however, is much more fun. So basically I played against the AI in a 1v1 match and it basically went as expected. So the AI still isn't perfect, so I landed some of my shots and got some of the rounds, but the AI overall won against me. However, I'm not that good of a CSGO player, so if you're a good CSGO player, you can probably win against this AI. That's it from this video, so if you liked it, please hit the thumbs up and also consider subscribing to not miss any upcoming videos. See you in the next one.